The Death of Cartoon Network by Cartoon Sheet.
Let me ask you something. When was the last time you heard any good news relating to Cartoon Network, or more specifically Warner Brothers? Scratch that actually, streaming in general. It feels like every other day some new catastrophic event happens that stirs everyone into a frenzy. Whether that's beloved and successful shows being canned or removed from streaming with no legal way to watch them, shows being canned before they're even given a chance, movies and TV-
Bro! Oh my god, I genuinely don't, I'm gonna be so real with y'all. I don't understand how companies like Netflix, who have the money in spades, cancel shows that have good reviews and people want to see.
I will say I don't understand why they cancel the good shows that have good reviews, but also they kind of don't have the money. They be floating under the line. Remember when it was a thing where they was giving all these comedians these big contracts? They really wasn't like, that wasn't from profits. That was from like spending unnecessary amounts of money. And it's like, I don't know why that comes to when they cancel shows with good reviews, but they really don't be floating. They could be positive now, but the history of Netflix, I know they don't be in the green. Yeah. They be in the red.
TV shows being used for tax write-offs in production or sometimes when they're close to being finished, leading to
that was the dumbest shit ever.
Movies and TV shows being used for tax write-offs.
It was the dumbest shit ever. Nobody wanted to see it. Nobody wanted to see that. Nobody cared. Nobody cared, bro.
Production or sometimes when they're close to being finished, leading to them never seeing the light of day and everyone's time being wasted. Yap. It's a dark time. And above all, the medium that is getting hit the hardest by all of this, I'm gonna go with malarkey, it sounds funny, is animation. Animation has never really been treated well by corporations for, well, ever. Crunch time, overworking animators to the brink of death, and being rewarded with enough money to put Skittles and ice soup on the table for a week. But things are incredibly dire nowadays, and you'd think after animation basically carried the industry out of bankruptcy during the pandemic that things would start looking up. However, that's a hopeful outcome, a word that in Hollywood means about as little as the word consent. Alright, I think we can save the corporate stuff for later. So, Cartoon Network. It's in a bit of a state right now, I won't lie. All of you watching know what Cartoon Network is, and you likely have a favorite Cartoon Network show you used to watch as a kid or still watch today as an adult. It's a network that many have very fond memories of, and back in the day, it was arguably the best channel out of the big three of its.
Literally, Cartoon Network was the animation station. Early 90s where they were doing like random animation test episodes on Fridays of different shows that they would see how people reacted to it.
Quickie, appreciate
and if
the sub.
people reacted to it well, they'd release it as an actual series in the future. Like Cartoon Network was that, bro. But it was also led by people who loved animation and cartoons. Now it's led by people who only care about money.
It's kind of like the Phase, if you think of it similar to the Phase situation. Yeah. Where Phase was led by the people that started it. Yeah. And then they got bought out by people that's just seeing the money in it. And they had to get their rights back so that now they can bring the love back to Phase or whatever.
Yeah, so, I agree.
Itself, Disney Channel /XD, and Nickelodeon, especially as Disney and Nick began airing more live-action programming. Cartoon Network has a massive library of iconic and beloved cartoons, and also Lego Chima, and throughout its numerous eras over its 31-year history, it has maintained its reputation as the go-to cartoon channel for all ages, something that for the past couple of years has unfortunately began to wither.
And because it has withered, so has Boomerang. Boomerang used to be peak, comparable to Cartoon Network. It had all classic shows that were offline. It was so much you can watch on Boomerang. Now it's just reruns of BS. You probably got like 4 or 5 shows running on Boomerang.
I don't think it's a stretch to say that Cartoon Network has been on a steep decline as of recently. Not just the channel itself, naturally with streaming getting bigger, the channel itself would suffer, but the brand in general. There's a lot of reasons for this, and before you get all uppity in the comment section, it's not because, grah, cartoons were better when I was a kid. It's far more complex than that. If the network was failing because of the quality of its cartoons, then Teen Titans Go wouldn't still be standing after 11 years. It feels like for the past couple of years, Warner Brothers have been determined to kill basically every aspect of CN's brand, and it can only be described as a slow and painful death. Cartoon Network may not be literally dead, but figuratively, it's been cooked for a while. And with the recent removal of multiple of CN's heavy hitters from streaming for a reason that can be—
Boy, when they removed Gumball,
what?
Look at you, sitting on the couch, not doing nothing with your life.
You might be in class.
Yeah, just watching the YouTube video. Come experience this live in 4K1000.
Twitch.tv/InternetCity Arcade. This video literally dropped as we're streaming.
Yeah.
Get your butt over here. Yeah. What are you doing?
I almost got rid of Max.
It looked like they trying to kill it on purpose, bro.
Also, I hate to say this, bro, and this goes back to our conversation about Gendy Tavarsky. I don't think Cartoon Network can handle the devices, like the media it gets. I think Cartoon Network needs to be owned by a company that understands it is a lost lead.
That's lost lead for whatever.
For anime, whatever. Like, just, it has to, like, it's a medium that you can't expect to make money on in the way you can do on, like, a Travel Channel and other stuff. Like, you have to accept it. Just
you have to handle it with care.
Yeah.
And make profit with extensions of it.
Yeah.
Because you have to make profit with extensions of the medium that the fans care so deeply about.
And it's like they lose it, bro. They lose sight of it. And like it's really terrible, bro. And like,
cause like all of these, I ain't gonna lie, all of these shows, right? There's a lot of, obviously I grew up in Prime Cartoon Network, so I've seen most of those shows. But even the shows after my prime of watching, you can say shit like Gumball and Adventure Time and all that stuff. Like, I didn't watch them, but you can tell they're good.
Yeah. Just
based on one audience reaction and how much people talk about it. And like, even when you see clips, you're like, oh, that had to have been a good show. All this other shit, that's new stuff, you can tell people don't give a crap.
Apple and Onion. It's a whole lot of shows that are just dog shit.
You can just tell.
Yeah, bro.
He summed up as David Zaslav taking his hand.
Also, Cartoon Network, y'all, some hoes. Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers. One of the reasons they're pulling everything from their streaming sites is because they're putting it on their YouTube channel. They don't have to pay the actors from the YouTube channels. Yeah, it's little
things.
Yeah, they don't have to pay.
I own the rights. I could just put it on YouTube.
If they put it on YouTube, if they put it on other streaming platforms, they literally do not have to pay the actors residuals. It's lame.
That's wow.
Hands off his cock to start shrugging at the camera. Now seems like a pretty good time to talk about the decline of Cartoon Network. This is not going to be as long or high energy as my previous decline videos. I just really like the title for this one. Leave me alone.
Yup.
For many years, Cartoon Network was renowned for its diverse and quality lineup of cartoons, many of which have stood the test of time and are still popular among kids and adults to this day. No matter what era of the channel, there was always a good number of shows airing that were iconic for their own reasons and helped to strengthen the network's brand and popularity. Love them or hate them, it cannot be denied that the majority of Cartoon Network's programming left their mark and are still popular today.
Yep.
The current era of Cartoon Network is f***ing boring, and it's not necessarily because of the quality of what's here. I mean, you can go on your 40th rant about why Teen Titans Go is the worst thing ever and killed your dog all you want, but compared to every other era of the network, this one is just lacking in any standout cartoons. Look back to previous eras of the network. The Dawn of Time, like Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, Courage, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Kids Next Door, Billy and Mandy. Mid-2000s, you got Samurai Jack, Foster's Home, Ben 10, Chowder, Flapjack. 2010s, I mean, good god, I will not understand people who hate on 2010's Cartoon Network. You had Adventure Time, Regular Show, Gumball, We Bare Bears, Steven Universe.
We Bare Bears is a banger. I don't care what nobody say. We Bare Bears is a fucking banger.
Everything he's listed, even if I didn't see it, you could tell it's a banger.
Banger.
You could just tell.
First, Over the Garden Wall. Does that count? I'm counting
the
it.
aura
Infinity
it
Train,
has.
OKKO. Admittedly, I'm just listing most of the ones that come to mind for me personally, and obviously not everyone likes these shows equally, and yes, each era had its low points. But the point is that
Johnny Test is not a low point. And I will not take that disrespect, bitch ass nigga. I'm sorry, cartoonish.
Oh, man.
Johnny Test is not a low point. And also, Johnny Test is not a Cartoon Network low point, because Johnny Test started on KSWB. I will not let you disrespect Jonathan Test.
Put your answers in the comments below.
I will not let you disrespect Jonathan Test, bro. Come on.
no matter the era, there was always stuff to watch. Stuff that left an impact, stuff that immediately came to mind when you thought of Cartoon Network. What even airs on Cartoon Network today, not counting Adult Swim? I mean, Teen Titans Go...
Also, Adult Swim needs its own channel. I'm going to keep saying this till the day I die.
Yeah.
Adult Swim needs its own channel, bro.
There's no reason we should have been seeing that.
Bro, Adult Swim... there's enough adult animations
Yeah.
where Adult Swim could have its own channel. You want to know why they don't want to do it? I'm going to tell you why.
Tell us why.
They don't see the value. They do not see the value in animation. That's why it's there, bro. Though the moment they put Adult Swim on a kids channel, you should have known they didn't care about the viewers, bro.
Yeah, look, bro. Come on, bro.
Really isn't that bad, especially now, but we're not having that discussion today. Craig of the Creek is pretty good and
I like
about to end, never mind. Fiona and Cake is amazing, but didn't air on the network
It's on HBO
itself, so that doesn't count. Jellystone is fine. There's a baby show about We Bear Bears. I thought that
Both of those are ass. I'm sorry.
bad died in the 2000s. Tiny Toons and Total Drama got revivals that I've heard no one talk about.
So, hey, the Tiny Toons is good. Tiny Toons is good. The issue is they released it on the damn network.
Is that really it? I mean, there's some other shows that have either aired on the network itself or are streaming on Max, not for long anyway, but I don't think I've heard anyone talk about these ever. Either the marketing is just that bad, or there's really nothing here that's grabbing people's attention. There's really not much here. I mean, Craig of the Creek is a leftover from the 2010s and it's the best show in the current lineup, and that's ending soon. Where are the shows? There is nothing here. It's not like what's here is even bad, it's just that barely any—
I'm not gonna lie. As Craig of the Creek is like the perfect. Hate to make this a race thing. Craig of the Creek is the perfect cartoon for a black kid.
It's actually decent.
Like if you're a black kid, you know how like sometimes like I don't look for like, oh that character looks like me, but Craig of the Creek is one of those.
It's
I'm
actually
like
I've seen Mason Brother watching it. It's actually decent. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's a nice show. Yeah. It's a nice little fun.
any of it stands out. There's no variety, no diverse lineup of shows that had their own strengths and aspects to set them apart. And to make this worse, I think we're about to enter an era that just lacks any original programming. Recently, there were a ton of Cartoon Network announcements about revivals of their previous shows. Not reboots, full-on revivals continuing what was already there. Now, stuff like
the season 7 of fucking. I love Gumball, bro. I love Gumball. But this also goes into the problem with all current media. We need to stop trying to
reboot.
Keep going. Make something new.
The thing is, it's like we in this predicament with content, right? We talked about this last night.
Are we Cartoon Network chat?
Yeah, a little bit. Like we talked about this last night. I'm like, Aaron, we gonna have to like escape all levels of comfort and like take shit that we know works well and make our own thing. It might have been done before, but like our own thing. But like with media in general, especially cartoons, they're not willing to put the time, energy, effort, and money into just making new IPs.
Yeah.
It's like you can't have good shows without putting the effort into finding people with these fresh ideas. There's plenty of people with fresh ideas. Yeah. People have ideas all the time. There's people that dream of being the director on a head animation or a TV show or movies, or it's just the companies are not putting the effort in finding the fresh ideas. That's why early 2000s, 90s, and before,
it was all about fresh ideas.
You make a pilot, you see how it goes, and then the success of the pilot or how much the executives like the pilot or not will determine if it. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing that no more.
And that's what I was saying about earlier. You had the Friday nights where
there
were pilot episodes. That's all it was.
Yeah,
they were just
pilot episodes. It's like, oh, the people like this, the people like this. Like when you watch a documentary on like a cult classic show, it could be an animation, a show, whatever. They're always gonna mention how nervous they were for the pilot.
Yep.
And the pilot either blew the roof off with ratings or it did okay, and executives was like, I really like that, and they kept it going, bro. Yeah. And all of these shows, especially if it got a documentary about it, turn into cult classics type joints.
And I also feel like those execs love cartoons. They loved animations. The people who run these networks now, I don't feel like they love animation. I don't feel like they love. There's no love in it.
You can take it outside of even cartoons. Just
media,
movies, whether it had a book or a comic or it's a new one. they're not in it for the love of making, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They trying to make hits, but for the money. They're not trying to make hits to make a hit, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they're
not trying to make a hit, like, I want to make this where people love this. They want to, I want to make this so I can make a lot of money.
You make the most money when you make something that's fucking good. What part of that don't we understand? Nothing. Even if you're taking it from a formula that has worked, you make the most money when you make something that's fucking good.
Yeah, agree, 100%.
Fast and the Furious is still making billions to this day because the niggas that run it, Vin Diesel and the people he worked with,
they love
it.
Yeah. And that's why it was so much fucking backlash when Rock came in, because it wasn't, oh, I love this. It was, Rock was, I love me.
I love me, and I think I could do it better than you because I'm a big brand. No, we don't give a fuck about that, bro.
Yeah.
And as much shit as you hear about Fast and the Furious, for example, as much people like, damn, this not even about cars no more. They make billions on one movie now. Yeah. And we're on number 10. For the past 5, they've been making $1 billion or more every single movie. And they spend nowhere near that.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
I ain't gonna lie, chat. I was watching shit with Majin last night, and I was like, damn, Majin, we gotta get in shape. We was watching the Fast and Furious trailer, because I bought me a you know, a little J.J. Abrams lens. And so I was like, Majin, how hard would you think it'll be for us to make a movie? Because it was me, Majin, to do. Because we got all the shit to make the movie, bro. Yeah. It's just like, the want to make cool shit.
Nigga. Bro, but it's the last point before even we got to get back in the video. We only piece in. Terrifier. The nigga made Terrifier because he loved making short films. He made some short film series. Then boom, people love the character. Oh, I'm gonna make a short film. I think it was 2 short films about that specific character. Made them bitches. People loved it. Crowdfund the first movie because people want to see it. And he got backing from a nigga that he got backing from somebody. Funded it. It did well because you can see the love, and the acting might be subpar, movie might be subpar, but you can see the love. People loved it.
A lot of it, I think nowadays they are trying to do it to appeal to a small group of people, or do it with people that don't know what they are doing and run it into the ground.
Yeah.
That's why a lot are into independent content now.
Exactly. People loved it because the director loved it, and the actor, even the actors in it loved, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Crowdfunded a whole nother movie. This time they met the first movie, they didn't meet the goal. They got some money, and then one big dude came in and was like, I believe in you. Boom. Second movie, crowdfunded the whole fucking thing. Third movie, $2 million budget. Because he loves it. The actor that fucking plays Art the Clown, he loves what the fuck he doing. Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
And it might not be the best fucking slasher out there, but there's love, and it's same thing with shit like games like Lethal Company and Helldivers. Helldivers was doing amazing until guess what?
They
Sony ruined it. Yeah, at first it was the company, the developers loved it, and it was a great idea. The people loved it because you could see the love. Sony came in and said, we think we know what we doing because we make a little more money. Now Helldivers is nowhere to be fucking found.
Yep.
You can take it to YouTube. FaZe.
Yep.
Was on the brink of elimination. Come on, bro.
And then they brought it back to people who love content.
Come on, bro.
Gumball coming back was just kind of expected because Gumball hasn't really been over. It aired its final episode a while back, but it ended on a cliffhanger that was going to be followed up by the movie. But given a new season is drawing closer and we have no word on the movie at all, I don't think it's coming out anytime soon. So yeah, Gumball being brought back is fine, and I don't think anyone's against having more Gumball in their lives. The other announcement, though, threw me off. A cliff. Regular show is getting a revival, and my god did the alarm bells start ringing with this one. Not that I doubt it'll be good, I'm sure they'll find some way to make it work, but not only did regular show end 7 years ago, but it ended perfectly, even if the final season itself wasn't that great. And this isn't the only IP that CN is bringing back from the dead, because they also have Craig McCracken on board to do his own Powerpuff Girls revival after the 2016 reboot kind of existed. And there's a new Foster's Home show too that's going to be aimed at preschoolers. I mean, okay, if that's what you want to do with Foster's, then sure. But do you you guys see the problem here? The complete lack of original programming as is bad enough, but having to rely on previously established shows that ended years ago comes off as nothing more than desperate. I wouldn't mind this as much if we still had new and interesting shows coming out, but there's literally nothing. And who's to say it's gonna stop at just these shows? Any day now they could announce a new revival for anything at this point, so long as it makes them money. Now, is this a big problem for me personally? No, contrary to what some of you may think, I don't spend most of my time watching cartoons as much as I have a passion for animation. By the way, please watch Dan Da Dan, I've read the manga, it's really good. But it's sad to watch one of my favorite childhood channels crumble like this, and it makes me upset knowing that kids today aren't gonna get a similar lineup of bangers and new originals that kept me hooked as a kid. And that also sucks for adults too, because many of the best Cartoon Network shows have that multi-generational appeal and can be enjoyed by all ages. And I'm sick of living in a world where new ideas just aren't given a chance and companies just recycle the same IPs over and over again. I have no doubt that the revivals of Gumball, Regular Show, and even Powerpuff Girls will be good, but the network really needs something new.
Yup, I agree wholeheartedly.
Give these kids something else.
Beyond the current state
and
of
give us as adults new fucking movies to watch, bro. I'm tired of you rebooting fucking shit that came out in the 80s and early 2000s. Stop.
I give current anime a lot of shit.
Skrill's World, appreciate
it's always something, bro.
What?
I always got something to watch.
It's always something new, bro.
There's always something new, bro.
It's always something new, bro. Like, I'm loving Penguin right now. Why? Because even though it's another comic-based character, they haven't done Penguin justice yet. And they're doing it, and the people that I'm watching them talk about it in between episodes, and they love it. They love bringing the character to life, bro. And it's fucking good.
Yep.
It's not that hard, bro. It can't be.
Well, you couldn't have K&D as adults because they lose their memory, twin.
Yeah.
Network itself, it feels like Warner Brothers is doing everything in their power to decrease the presence of Cartoon Network as a brand, despite how big and recognizable it is. It really feels like at every turn for the past couple of years, CN's been getting curb-stomped out of relevancy, and a lot of it is purely cost-cutting reasons. It doesn't take a genius to figure out or even research that Warner Brothers is knee-deep in debt, and David Zaslav's favorite pastime is trying to pull his company out of said debt, which is a Sisyphean task at this point, by being as comically evil as possible. Wanna know why the Cartoon Network Studios building in Burbank got shut down? Cost cutting. They don't want to pay for 2 buildings for their 2 animation studios, so they moved Cartoon Network to the Warner Brothers Animation building instead. And while I guess that makes sense as a cost cutting measure, it is a pretty on the nose metaphor for how figuratively dead Cartoon Network is. The original building that produced all of their classic and beloved cartoons is now shut down. A large and recognizable landmark and symbol in the industry just gone. And if you thought that was Jover enough, then let's look at all the other ways Cartoon Network is being completely stripped of its soul just to line Zaslav's pockets. This past summer, the official Cartoon Network website was shut down and now redirects to Max. At least in America anyway. We still have it in the UK and I think some other regions may have it too, though to be frank our version is a lot worse than the US version. But this was still a massive blow to the brand. Not only because of how many fond nostalgic memories many of us have using this website as kids, either during our free time or playing games on it at school, etc. But
boy, that Cartoon Network website used to be gas. I'll never forget, bro. I used to play this I used to play the Teen Titans fighting game. My favorite game on there was a Gundam game, which was essentially rock, paper, scissors. And it was a lightsaber, it was the sword, beam saber, gun, something else, bro. Like, bro, it was peak.
You know what don't make sense to me, bro?
What?
The fact that you having to shut down a website in an age full of internet kids. Why? Because you ain't gave them no new IPs and shows to watch for them to fall in love with the brand and go to the freaking website, bro. It all comes back.
I was on CartoonNetwork.com.
You make something good. You put out marketing material, YouTube videos, TikToks, and all of this for a generation of internet babies. And maybe, just maybe, they could go to your website.
Facts, bro.
Maybe, just maybe, they'll buy your merch. And rep to the... Bro, come on, bro.
But again, because of what it represented, Cartoon Network's soul being scrubbed from existence. I know it may sound off to give a large company a soul, but comparing what we knew of CN to current day Warner Brothers, CN had a soul, alright, at least in comparison to this Joker. Also, as a side tangent, I find it really sad that so many safe online spaces for kids, such as the Cartoon Network website and Club Penguin, are just dropping like flies. These were high-quality, kid-friendly spaces that stopped kids from accessing other, more mature parts of the web that they shouldn't be seeing
streaming
at
for
their
too
age.
much
I don't
longer,
think it's a
maybe another
strange
hour
coincidence that the uptick in children
today.
using websites like Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, etc. happened around the same time that these safe spaces started getting shut down. The Cartoon Network website, while a shell of its former self, was one of the last of these websites still standing, and now it's gone. And to my knowledge, I don't think many of the games were archived, and a lot of the website itself is now lost media. It's just really depressing to realize that we're heading towards a reality where kids don't have well-made, fun, and safe corners of the internet to use, and instead their only alternative is to access sites that they really should not be viewing or interacting with. Yes, YouTube has a kids version, but almost no one uses it, and the content on there is exploitative and deeply unsettling, so kids shouldn't be using it anyway. And now we get to the streaming side of things. Ever since Warner Bros. Merged with Discovery and Zaslav entered the picture, CN's been getting brutally backhanded with every move they make. Max, or HBO Max as it used to be known as, was once held in high regard as one of the best streaming services.
You want to know the craziest part about Max? Max is a failed site, a failed app 5 times over.
Right.
So HBO has launched a video playing site app 5 times so far, and they all have failed. You had HBO, you had HBO, it was like 3 regular HBOs, then HBO Max, and now this
HBO Max, bro. Jesus Christ. I don't know why we don't have 1440p. I don't know. We just hooked this bit up and started streaming, bro. I don't know what the settings is to it.
Services you could subscribe to because of Warner Bros.' extensive catalog of IP, and a big part of that was the sheer number of Cartoon Network shows featured on there. Basically, everything was there from every era of the network. So many high-quality and well-regarded cartoons from many people's childhoods, and many that people still enjoy today were all there and accounted for. Then Zaslav took over and things began to change. One by one, Cartoon Network's catalog began to decrease as many shows were removed from Max entirely, and given that some of them don't have many places you can legally purchase them from, this made some shows completely inaccessible for legal means. This practice of removing your own shows from your own streaming service has become a lot more common in recent
years.
What?
It's ridiculous.
They're removing Voltron? That's their best series.
And it's their series?
Yes, it's Netflix.
I just want to know, like, I just want to be behind the scenes of just one of these. Like, why?
Bro.
Why?
Years, and it's a very hard concept to wrap your head around at first, because why the hell would you even do that? Remove your own content from your own service? It seems completely counterintuitive, like you're just throwing money into a pit of fire, right?
Oh, paying actors.
Unfortunately, this is just a clever but really scummy way for companies to get away with not paying the people involved with their production any residuals. It just can't be bothered to pay the people that made their hit shows the very small amount of residuals that they're owed, so they just remove the show entirely. Because of this incredibly greedy practice, it's led to an incredibly grim scenario where many shows are now incredibly hard to watch or straight up impossible to watch for legal means, and the creators of said shows are now publicly advocating for piracy if you're interested in watching them. And if you need another reminder about how grim things are right now, as I said at the start of the video, Max recently removed a ton of Cartoon Network's heavy hitters from their service. This included Chowder, Regular Show, The Amazing World of Gumball, We Bare Bears, and Steven Universe. I don't think I need to explain why this is mind-blowing, right? Whether you like these shows or not, it can't be denied that these are some of the most well-regarded and popular shows Cartoon Network have ever produced. Regular Show and Gumball are so popular, in fact, that they announced more episodes were in the f***ing works. Where is the sense in just removing all of this content? Surely paying the residuals isn't costing that much. I refuse to believe this practice is getting Warner Bros. Anywhere close to clearing the $50 billion of debt they're drowning in. In 2 years, the company's only cleared a fifth of that. By the time they get out of it, there's not...
It's almost like you're in debt because you make shitty stuff.
Yeah, why the fuck we bought Discovery? Why did you buy Discovery Channel, bro? We could have let the channel die. I'm so sorry. And I love fucking the fucking deep water monsters, whatever it's called. We could have let Discovery die.
To discover debt.
Gonna be any fucking content left. And to add insult to injury, to really hammer in how CN is being deprioritized, Max's brand spotlight places Cartoon Network around the middle to low end of it. Adult Swim and Boomerang are above it in terms of priority. It's just really sad.
You might as well let the whole company go, bro.
This point extends well beyond Cartoon Network, and it applies to, well, most of the animation industry at this point. Animators and artists who have worked on many of your favorite cartoons are currently unemployed in record numbers, and a big reason for this has been streaming. Not only does streaming allow corporations to steal what's popular and chase trends at a much more efficient rate, renewing and cancelling on a whim, this trend chasing completely f***s with animation, given it takes far longer to make than the vast majority of shows. Big name streaming services have already built up massive libraries of content and are overly reliant on established and profitable IP, which also throws a wrench into things given original ideas can barely get off the ground now. And to add further insult to injury, layoffs in the animation industry are rampant right now, as studios are constantly trying to make their finances look better. As previously mentioned with Warner Bros. And Cartoon Network, this leads to extensive cost-cutting measures, from the closing of the original Cartoon Network Studios building, the shutdown of the original website, and a constant removal of classic content from streaming services. All of this is topped off with staff being laid off en masse, and because of the lack of original animated programming being greenlit nowadays, as well as studios continuing to chase trends, there simply aren't enough jobs.
I also just realized why some shows are still on their streaming services.
Wow.
Because there is no one to pay from them. There's no one to get a residual. Like some of the older shows, there's no one to get that residual. They own it. And if they own some of the stuff, depending on the IPs and things like that, I'm pretty sure they don't have to pay residuals for certain. Man, these niggas suck, dude.
Going around to make animation a sustainable career for most people. Last year, it was reported that around 30% of the Los Angeles animation workforce are unemployed, with that percentage only continuing to rise as more studios continue to cut costs in the most pathetic and desperate ways imaginable. Ever since the streaming bubble burst, it has spelled the doom for the animation industry, as the big corporations get to keep making these decisions to cut costs and play things safe.
Who is gonna be the one?
Dollars last year, while his
you cut everything but show it. What in what world
50 mil, nigga?
did you need 50 million, my nigga?
Nigga,
You trying to cut costs in what world?
Bro, Michael, think about this for a second. You don't have actors
You don't have
in
nothing.
blockbuster movies.
You are in 50 billion in debt. In what world does the CEO of a company that's $50 billion in debt need $50 million? Granted,
I get it. You want to be
I
a
fucking
bring home 5, twin.
as a human,
5-10.
As a human, I get why you are paying yourself 50 million. But as a nigga who's trying to save his company,
5-10, bro.
5 to 10, bro.
That's still millions. How about, hold on, Aaron. How about
We cut the cost, make good shows, get the company successful, and you can make 100, 500, 600. As the CEO who saved Warner Brothers. Oh, it's too much work. It's too much effort.
I hope you see this and you say, oh, you guys think you can do a better job than me? Then come do it gladly.
Jesus
Gladly.
Christ,
I know
bro.
I can.
It's too much. It's too much proof in the pudding of shit that works now and in the past and going into the future for y'all niggas to be this stupid. It's too many examples across gaming, movies, TV, animation, anime, internet. Too many examples.
50 mil,
Come on,
bro.
What the fuck are we talking about, bro?
Think about that doesn't add up.
Oh, and how about somebody out there that's an executive say, wait a minute, streaming don't work. It don't work for everybody. Maybe Netflix can survive for the next 100 years. Maybe. They started the shit. But how about somebody say, oh, what if we go a different route
We focus on media.
and focus on shit that we good at? Oh my God!
Nigga, y'all can single-handedly bring back network television if you do it properly.
We're not in the COVID era no more, bro. It was necessary for a year and a half, 2 years. It's not anymore, bro. We're paying for 50 different streaming services while you still want us to pay for cable.
Nigga, craziest part, while we're on that, I have to bring this. Bro, we're in the 20s. It's time for a renaissance, bro.
For the love of God.
It's time. Every renaissance ever has happened in the 20s. Please, but look. You know what's crazy?
Streaming was the renaissance. This shit is failing.
And it's time for a new one. So this is the craziest part, and I just thought about this. Of how these companies are. DirecTV, right? You can get DirecTV as a streaming app,
right?
No equipment, right? $69 a month. It's a little high, whatever. Woo. You know what they make you do?
What?
Sign a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
What you think I got in there? It's in the living room, bro.
You got DirecTV in there?
DirecTV, it's a fucking box that's this size, nigga. It connects to the internet.
Oh,
you know why I got it? Because it's a contract.
You know what? I'm gonna just steal that bitch. I'm gonna put that bitch in my room. I'm like Boomerang.
And guess what? Guess what I would use if the shit was playing on there? I don't watch TV because there's no need.
Can I steal it?
Huh?
Can I steal it?
Hell no, bro.
Well, I was just gonna put it in my room. You don't even watch TV.
I use it when I need it, bro.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do, bro.
When the last time you watched TV?
Last weekend.
That was that TV, the DirecTV.
Yeah, bro.
So you watched the DirecTV last
twin, and basketball, bro. Stop playing with me.
You watched the DirecTV
and basketball, twin. Stop playing with me. It's basketball season. Get off my tip, bro. It's that's the main reason I need it. Actually. Oh, look, there's another example. Sports. Why do sports still work on TV? Because that's the only place you can watch it.
Well, you can watch it on streaming apps.
I mean, they got it, but like some of the shit is stupid. But like, you know what I'm saying? If I want to go watch it, nigga, I gotta. Tight shit.
It's because Warner Bros. Is solely focused on making sure its top executives and the CEO
stupid,
reap all the benefits of his destructive
want.
rampage they're on, while everyone else has to deal with their projects being shit-canned on a weekly basis and being left out of a job because, to be frank, there are no fucking jobs. This applies everywhere in animation right now, but in Cartoon Network's case, it especially hurts given just how bad the network and brand have been crippled these past couple of years under Zaslav's leadership. Oh, and this is all without mentioning the fact that working conditions for animation are still subpar across the board. So even if you do get a job in the industry, it's very likely you'll either be treated like shit, forced to crunch, get paid close to nothing, or all of the above. Remember how big of a success Inside Out 2 was for Pixar this year? Massive crunch time, baby, and many people who slaved away on the movie were laid off before it was released and were unable to receive their bonuses, which many people working at Pixar rely on since Pixar is not unionized. It's for all of these reasons that people within the industry are louder than ever about securing a new deal for animation. The Animation Guild is still fighting for a new deal, and accounts like Animation Workers United have been helping to spread the word on the trials and tribulations faced by animators right now. You remember that hashtag RIP Cartoon Network short that went viral this summer? Yep, that was them. The most any of us can really do is also be vocal about our love of animation and our desire for a new deal. And to be fair, it does seem like progress is being made, just slowly. But there's likely still a long road ahead of any successful negotiations. And going back to the topic of the video, I think you can see why this has all had a substantial impact on the current state of Cartoon Network. The lack of original programming, the reliance on existing IP, the constant cost-cutting through means of essentially min-maxing the company's finances, which has led to the degradation of the network's brand and the complete and utter termination of its original soul. Make no mistake, while Cartoon Network isn't dead on the outside, it's been dead on the inside for a while, and all Warner Bros. Continue to do is puppeteer its corpse as it slowly fades away from relevancy. I'm willing to bet that if things keep going in this direction for the next few years or so, Cartoon Network is just gonna cease to exist entirely. It means nothing now. I wanted to make this video longer, but I've said basically all I can really say at this point. Cartoon Network is at a very steep and painful decline. I wish I could have made this video more lighthearted, but it's just a sad state of affairs watching a network that was home to many of the shows that shaped who you are and kept you entertained as a kid be reduced to metaphorical rubble. Maybe one day Warner will snap out of it, maybe one day Cartoon Network will be on top of the world once again, who really knows for sure. But before that happens, things need to change within the industry, because the way things are right now is laughably unsustainable. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Actually don't play Yakuza this time, play Judgment. It's basically a Yakuza spin-off but with Ace Attorney stuff sprinkled in, it's great.
W video, bro.
Cartoon she. Man, he just dropped this. Y'all go check him out, bro.